Just like a home run,
hey guys.
Right away, James got paid from happened to James like it happened to me. How you think it feels to see another MC get paid? Using my rap style, and I'm playing the background. Meanwhile, I ain't with that. You can't forget that. You took the style. I'm taking it back, coming back like Return of the Jedi. Sucker MCs in the place that said I could only rock five and only rock five records.
Hey friends, Mark Holmes here with my buddy CowboyJobu, and thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Because without you guys, man, this would be nothing. And I appreciate all of the support that you guys gave me. It was an incredible trip in Philadelphia. As you can see, it was better for some than others. Let's get to it, man. I'm excited as can be with what the Dallas Cowboys did. Unfortunately, life has been extremely busy. We didn't leave Philadelphia till right after the draft, 8 o'clock, drove home, got home about 11 o'clock at night, and then yesterday spending on getting everything back together and stuff. And as usual, quit my day job, so I've been working like crazy. So I have yet to really have time to dig in deep with each of these players and start doing some videos and stuff together on it. But I'm going to get to work on that starting tomorrow. We're going to have a lot more time and stuff now that things have settled down. But I want to know how you guys feel about what we did at the draft. Personally, I'm happy. I am happy that the Dallas Cowboys are now a much and run team. Because gone are the days when we'd say, hey, let's trade 2 number 1s for Roy Williams because he'll get us over the top. Gone are the days when we'll go ahead and sign and figure that plug in and protect our quarterback. We'll go ahead and sign guys like T.O. because that'll give us a Super Bowl. Gone are the days of let's take a number 1 and number 2 and let's trade up and get the best player defensively in the draft like Morris Claiborne. What we are beginning to witness, and it doesn't seem exciting, I know, but it's the way you actually win games. It's the New England Patriots style of building a team. And by that I mean the Cowboys were looking to get as many draft picks as possible. Yeah, there were late round, 7th round picks. But here's the thing that I always try and tell you guys is the more picks, the better that you have in the NFL. Because I don't care if you're picking a 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round, 4th round, any of the rounds. It's a crapshoot. You got a 50-50 shot of that player making the team or making an impact. And it doesn't matter if you're necessarily picked in the 1st round because there's just as many busts in the 1st round as there are in the 4th round. And I personally like getting that guy that has that chip on his shoulder, that guy that was forgotten, that guy that people doubt, that guy who's going to have to work his tail off to get that next contract. I hate to quote Doc Walker from Washington Redskins, one of the former Hogs. I think he said that Jobu needed a refill, but he also said it's hard to be hungry when your refrigerator's full. And that's one of those sayings that really rings true. Because when a guy gets that big fat paycheck, his arms get a little shorter. You know what I mean? He gets those alligator arms. You know, he's not laying out like he used to. Because, hey, I'm rich. I got a face and an image to protect. I don't want to get hurt. You see guys that make a whole lot of money take plays off. Or a guy like an RG3 who thinks I'm all that in a ham sandwich because I was the number 2 pick. All I got to do is show up because I'm that good. And that's why a guy like Dak Prescott becomes a baller. Because he doesn't rest. He's not satisfied with where he is. He's trying to prove people wrong that doubted him. And that's my kind of player. So I'm going to dig into breaking down each of these guys because I got to be honest with you. I'm never going to lie to you. I have not had enough time to go through and research all of them, flat out. And when I bring stuff to you guys, I like to let you know exactly what the real deal is. I don't want to bullshit you. I don't want to come up with rumors, innuendos, lies. I want to be the real deal. And I want to have some fun. So let me go ahead and say hello to all you people out there. And I see the Jedi Knight, Jack Duncan, Jackie Smith, Delta Boy, Ty Nice. Boy, we got a lot of people on here already tonight. Robert A. Man, Bill Bones, Sandman. But here's what I like as far as this draft goes is the Dallas Cowboys said, look, we need help on defense. There's not a lot we can do to the defense to make it that much better. And as much as you hear teams talk about the New York Giants got Brandon Marshall, so they're so much better. No, they're not. Throw and complete more passes just because they got Brandon Marshall. Their offensive line was their problem. You know, getting Brandon Marshall didn't solve any of those problems. The Cowboys offense, for the most part, is good to go as long as everybody stays healthy. The defense is where you lost most of your free agents. And quite frankly, some of them I'm happy to say bye-bye. I lost with you. I can continue to lose without you. And I'm happy about having young guys out there. I think we're better off. I definitely like some of the players that we have. You know, I feel really good about getting Taco. That was one of the guys I kept saying, Taco Tuesday. In fact, last Monday night on the Benet Emery show, I'm sure a lot of you guys remember me saying, I think we'll get Taco. And I can't wait to have Taco Sundays. I think it's going to be fantastic. So it's kind of great. Now, I see there's the Mark Holmes on here. Mark Holmes, do you have a YouTube channel where you're actually using my clips? Because I think I came across another Mark Holmes that has clips of me and Jobu on it that I did not put together. So you trying to get paid off of my work? Okay. I guess that's just a sign that I'm doing something right, that others want to be like me. I've got lots of trolls out there, and I've got a lot of people that are copying my videos and things like that. So I'm wondering if you, Mark Holmes, are the same Mark Holmes. Because when Shango was doing his live stream during the draft, Mike Mosh texted me and said, are you on Shango's live stream? I'm like, dude, I'm in the second row of the draft. Why would I be on Shango's live stream right now? I'm here at the draft. He said, because I see a Mark Holmes on there. And I'm kind of like, okay. I'm like, is he starting something? Or he's like, no, he's behaving. But I said, thought it was kind of funny that you would be live streaming on Shango's while you were at the draft itself. But see, I guess it just got a little bone to pick. But speaking of being there at the draft, what an experience. I don't know how much you guys watched of the live stream, but the most incredible moment, and something I think I will take to my grave, was that whole Drew Pearson dropping the mic on the Eagles. Now, unfortunately, every time the Cowboys, Redskins, or Giants picked, the Eagles were just booing like crazy to the point where you literally could not hear it in the theater. And so I had no clue as to what Drew Pearson said. And while that was going on, I was fortunate enough that they saw Jobu. They focused the camera on him before that shot, and they panned back and they got me and my son Michael, going through there. But what I haven't seen the whole clip and everything that was going on live on TV. What was cool where the Eagles were chanting, Dallas sucks, and we're saying, how about them Cowboys? So it was literally like a mosh pit of shouts back and forth. And so we were in there shouting back and forth as is doing that epic speech. And when I got back to the hotel and I heard that, it was just like, wow, that's the way you do it. Now I'm going to tell you something about these Eagles fans. I don't know if we have any of them watching right now, but they're some punk asses. And I say that with all due respect, because here's what I realized with Eagles fans. And I told some of these stories in some of the other videos, so forgive me if you've already heard them. But Philadelphia has a reputation of, you better not wear Dallas Cowboy gear. A Dallas Cowboy fan better not be found in Philadelphia. He gonna get his ass whooped. Well, I gotta tell you, every day I was there, I wore either this jersey, and by the way, it's not Quincy Carter, it's CowboyJobu. Okay, CowboyJobu 17 for the 17th season. Every year from Mike Mosh or South of Heaven here on YouTube, I order another jersey from him. In fact, I've got pretty much every one of my jerseys I have is all for Mike Mosh. I've got the CowboyJobu 13, 14, didn't get one 15. That season was a disaster. Got last year 16, and this one this year. But I got to tell you, I love the style, and the letters are sewn on letters, and it fits. Well, it fit me better if I wasn't such a fat ass. But it's a great jersey, and if you want to get a jersey, go ahead and hook up with Mike Mosh on Facebook or South of Heaven on YouTube. Like I said, great jerseys. He'll get them to you in about 2 weeks. And there's so many different styles and looks that you can do. He can customize them. But anyway, back to these Eagles. So I'm wearing all this Cowboys gear, and it's more of their bark is worse than their bite. Because every time, fuck the Cowboys. The Cowboys suck. Oh, okay, yeah. And that was about it. With the exception of, I did get scared when I first got there. Me and Michael got to the hotel, dropped our bags off, and we went across the street to this place that's got all kinds of, and of course I walked out of the hotel. Some Eagle fans are there, and they say, oh, Cowboys suck, blah, 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 blah. Fuck the Cowboys. Okay. And I turn around, and there's this brother that's about 6'5", 6'6", standing right in front of me. He said, yo, you think that thing's funny? I said, yeah, it's CowboyJobu, here to spread the mojo for the Dallas Cowboys. And I started thinking at that moment, am I going to have to kick this blank to blank's butt? And he said, oh, okay, that's cool, and then walked on past. So that was about the only time that I actually worried about getting beat. So here's the thing. Every time Roger Goodell got up on stage, they booed like crazy. I mean, they literally booed the hell out of him. What was interesting? Roger came down into the crowd. And these same dirty birds, punk-ass birds, were jumping at the opportunity to get a picture with the commissioner. That's right. The guy you were booing and saying sucks like crazy, they were grinning up with, oh, Roger Goodell. It's like, you know what? Y'all really are some punk asses. Yeah. I've been back for 2 days, and no matter how many times I bathe, I just can't seem to get that Philadelphia smell out. And I got to tell you, I was in Mexico about a month ago, and they say don't drink the water. When you go to Philadelphia, don't eat the food. Yeah. Do they know what a vegetable is? You get a steak and cheese. You got a rubbery bun. You got what you hope is some beef slice. I don't know what it may be. And then you got some cheese with it. Can't you slap some mayonnaise and some grilled onions or some mushrooms, maybe some lettuce and tomato? No. They don't have that in little rubbery cheesesteaks, man. But anyway, enough about those dirty birds. I want to ask you guys what you guys think about this draft. I'm happy it's going to be, like I said, I'm happy that we worked on our defense. I'm excited about this because now, believe it or not, we've got a problem. Right now, we have 10 defensive linemen. That's right, we have 10. So that means there may be a couple of guys that may be expendable. Guys like DeMarcus Lawrence, guy like Tyrone Crawford. One of those guys, I think, may be an odd man out. You got a young Taco, who I think is going to be a beast. You've got David Irving, and if David Irving takes a couple of steps, if Taco comes out as a rookie, which isn't easy, and becomes a good player, that's a nice edge. You got Collins there in the middle, and you get a nice rotation with Stephen Pia. You know, all of a sudden, that defensive line looks a little bit better. I wish we had maybe one more premier guy that is tied together, but I'm happy about that because I feel like even though we're going to have rookies that are going to be starting the corners, that we're going to be able to develop more of a pass rush. We're going to get more than about 32, 34 sacks this season. I feel like that defensive line is going to help that linebacking core, and I've got a feeling about Jalen Smith. I know everybody's talking about it, but I got a feeling about Jalen Smith. If that comes along with David Irving, along with Stephen Pia, along with Taco Charlton, you don't have as much pressure on those cornerbacks because they're going to develop, keep that quarterback running around for his life. So I'm excited. I wish the season were just literally starting next week, but hey, we're going to have to wait. I want to thank all of you guys that I met out there. That was really the best part of this whole thing, was coming up and talking to some of you guys that have been watching the channel and things. And I'm going to try and make it my point here in the future to try and do as many events as possible. I'm going to hopefully be at training camp for a couple of days, definitely go to some games, and maybe we could tailgate or have some meetups and stuff, because it was just great talking to you guys and getting you guys on tape. So I look forward to trying to meet more and more of you guys. Now, the draft contest, I was telling you guys that unfortunately, what always happens is they screw the Cowboys. Last year in Chicago, I got there Thursday afternoon, went to 4 different shops, and I found one Dallas Cowboy draft hat. And they kept saying, oh, we're going to get some more tomorrow, or we're going to get some more on Saturday, but they never came. This year, looked on Thursday, couldn't find one. Looked on, they said, oh, we're going to get some more on Saturday. Yeah, well, Saturday came and they didn't have any more. So the best I could do for our draft contestant winner is a draft hat. Now, it was Chris Gibb. Let me look at this again. Hold on. Let me make sure I get the name right. Chris Gibb, I believe, was the winner. Sorry, guys. I ended up working late tonight, and it's been hard catching up. But it is Chris Gibb. Chris Gibb from the draft. Jobu approved. That's your helmet. So email me at or at AOL.com, or just, when you see this video or see whatever, just comment on one of the comments so that way I can give you my email address. But let me get to some of y'all's comments. We got a lot of you guys on here tonight. Hell yeah, it is Chris. Yeah, Chris won. He was the first one to say Taco Charlton. So congratulations to him. I want to get that out to him, and I would love to get a picture of you with the helmet and things. Can I all see the video? Which video are we talking about? Jobu needs a tattoo. Well, here's the thing with cutting Tyrone Crawford is he's going to get paid whether we're going to take the cap hit, whether he's here or whether he's gone this year, which is going to be close to $10 million. So maybe you end up, Jobu's flask is empty. Well, I got to tell you, I cannot find Jobu's Dallas Cowboy flask, and I'm wondering if it got left in Mexico. His little mini one over here, that always stays full. That's my emergency backup one that I have to steal Jobu's rum. That's the one that's getting stolen. You may troll the NFC East. Okay. You know what? Here's the thing with TJ Watt. TJ Watt, to me, really had one good season. I don't think he has as much experience, and I think he's a small guy. See, I look at Taco. Taco is 6'5", about 277. He's got his 40 down to about 4.7, I think, which is fast enough. The thing that I love about him, and you can look at 40 and say, oh, well, it's not a 4.6 or whatever, is his step. His first step is quick, okay? And he has a great, what I call lean. And by that I mean is he can move forward low. And being the low man in football, more times than not, you'll be the winner. Because it's hard for an offensive lineman to block you if you're in his chest. And that's where you want to be. You want to be able to grab his torso here, be lower than him, and you can rock his body, and you can make a move one way or the other. And with that quick first step, I think Rod Martinelli, because he's really very young and still has a lot to learn. But I think Rod Martinelli will be able to teach him some other moves. And I would love to see him with that quick step to do a jab step and rip or a jab step and swim. And what that is you take that first step towards the inside, you're getting the offensive lineman to come with you. And when you do that, you then step outside. And by doing that, the offensive lineman has shifted his weight here to try and catch that pressure. Now, his body is turned and you're going past him. And he has that speed, that quickness, and that lean that he can make that move and basically leave the tackle in the dust. And if he develops that, it's going to be lights out. And see, that's what I like about this guy. He's got enough mass to him, that 277 pounds, that he can get into the body and rock that offensive lineman, and then use the quickness he has to get past him. Because if you rock that that tackle, you can get him on his heels, then your quickness, you're gone. And that's what I look forward to him being able to do. And that's why I'm happy as can be about that. I'm happy that we got these three cornerbacks. I'm also happy about the wide receiver that's 6'2", 222 pounds, because I love a big wide receiver, a big target. All those things to me are fantastic. I think the draft that we had was great. Well, I don't think that they're gonna be able to trade Tyrone Crawford in a third-round pick for Sheldon Richardson. The good thing about next year is we're going to have a few extra picks because of the compensatory picks. But I'm not sure that anybody's going to trade for Tyrone Crawford, because Tyrone Crawford has been a bit of a disappointment, and that contract he has is pretty hefty. So don't look for us being able to trade him. I mean, think about it. If we couldn't trade a Tony Romo with this piss poor quarterbacks that are out there, how do you think we're going to third round for Tyrone Crawford? I mean, be able to trade Tyrone Crawford in a third round? I don't think that's going to happen. So we can forget about that one. It'll probably be that he just gets cut, if at all. So from that standpoint, I think any news on Jalen Smith? Well, Jalen Smith, the news that we got before the draft was that they're believing that the nerve will be completely regenerated by the time the season starts, which would be big. The only question is, with the lack of movement that it's had on its own, is how much stress will it be able to take? It's one thing doing plyometrics in a gym and running around and cutting on it, but when you cut, or you've got all the weight on your foot, and you got a 300-pound lineman that's pushing against it, how well will it hold up? So I think they still need to be careful and take it easy and bringing him in, and making sure he's 100% ready, because you don't want to rush him in there too soon, and he ends up messing that foot up even more. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm not the training staff or anything like that. I haven't worked with him. I don't have all of the details on it. But I just know that when you have a traumatic injury like that, they'll say you're healed, but it still takes time for you to be 100% sure of it, where you're not favoring it. It takes time for it truly to be healed, because it still may be tight. And he's just beginning to be able to raise that foot. So we're talking about a year that he hasn't been able to actually start moving that foot, and he's been wearing a brace with it. So hopefully it will be healed 100%, and hopefully he won't have any setbacks with it. And if he doesn't, lights out. Yeah, I was expecting that they would do something with Morris too, but you're not getting much value for running backs. I mean, look what Adrian Peterson had to settle for 2-year, $7 million contract coming off of $15 million. Most of these running backs aren't valued that high anymore, so you're not exactly able to trade a whole lot. Most teams are going to go ahead and wait till you release them, or figure we can get just about anybody, because running backs have been devalued so much, unless you're an offense like the Dallas Cowboys, which is kind of a throwback offense. Well, I'm not going to put that Jalen Smith is going to be the key to the defense, because I still believe that actually Taco may be the key. That pass rush is the key, because as much as this is where I always try to equate it, the thing Dallas always looked at was having the glory positions, the quarterback, the tight end, the running backs, the wide receivers, because Jerry was always going out to make sure I got Dez Bryant, or I've got Roy Williams, or I've got, Miles Austin. But he always got nobody's on the line. And yeah, they could put up some points, they could do some things, but they could never really be consistent until they went out, got Tyron, they went out, Travis Frederick, they went out, Zach Martin, and all of a sudden, the line made that much of a difference. Well, the defense in general has been the redheaded stepchild. And forgive me, redheaded stepchildren that are out there. We'll get scraps, leftovers, has-beens, guys that never were, and we'll put them on the defense, and our offense will play keep away. We'll get a few good pieces here and there. You get lucky with Sean Lee, but Sean Lee, couldn't stay healthy all the time until he met Jobu. But very rarely do they focus in on really trying to do something on the defense. I mean, other than Brandon Carr, where we paid him $55 million, who was consistent, but he was nothing spectacular. Yeah, they moved up to try and make an impact with Morris Claiborne, but Morris Claiborne had the injured wrist when he got here and injured everything else while he was here. But other than that, it really was a focus on the offense. Well, I think Jerry's finally realizing, or Will McClay, is we've got to focus on defense. We've got a young offense. Let's try and get some real players in here. And that's what they're probably trying to do. But I don't think that they're completely finished yet, because we got round 2 of free agency coming in about a month. Exactly a month from now. Because June 1st cuts. You're getting all the rookies now here in minicamp. You're now actually getting an extended look at these guys. A look where you could say, okay, this guy actually is going to be better than we thought. This guy is going to be a baller. This guy is playing better than this veteran over here that I'm paying a shitload of money to. I'm only paying him a $2 million cap hit. I'm paying him an $8 million cap hit, and he's getting old. Bye-bye. But these guys still have stuff in the tank. And by now, most teams have spent that free agent money. They don't have a whole big pile of it like they did, unless you're Cleveland and nobody wants to go to Cleveland. And you can find some valuable players from a leadership standpoint who can still give you valuable minutes for a year or two. And I think that we're going to be looking for 1 or 2 of those piece guys with that money that we saved from Tony Romo, that we're going to add to that defense to kind of tie it all together, that veteran presence, that possible beast that can be just a difference maker coming down the stretch. Because I think if we do that, that's really going to tie that together. It's going to help take those young guys up another level. Now, one other thing I was talking about with my son, Michael, and it's actually great because Michael is working with me, and he's a 3rd-generation Dallas Cowboy fan in my family. I got it from my dad growing up, sitting on the couch watching the black and white TV. Yes, I'm that old. And hearing him root for the Dallas Cowboys. And I wanted to be like my dad. And I remember that first Super Bowl win where the Cowboys beat Miami. So yes, I am that old. And from that time forward, I have always been a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. Well, lightning struck twice. My son followed in my footsteps, and he's a Dallas Cowboy fan as well. And it's been fantastic for him. We're driving to work, and he's telling me with what updates are going. Hey, we just signed this guy. Oh my God, this and this. So we're always talking about football. And the thing that we were talking about was with DeMarcus Ware. DeMarcus Ware's retired. He looked great with his glasses and stuff, looking kind of like an old man. But I could see him getting the itch. I could see him towards the late part of the season, if the Cowboys are doing really well and maybe just need that little veteran presence, just a little boost. Him turning back to Jerry Jones saying, you know what? I'd like to come back. Because I don't think that he would be done. I think he would really think about doing that. Because when you get to be a veteran, the last thing you like to do is practice. You don't want to do training camp anymore, man. Let the young guys have that. And I bet you he keeps himself in shape. He's already talked about working with the players and things like that. So he'll be out on the field. He'll be at the practice facilities. And I don't know how many of you guys played football, but once you develop that love for football, you can't lose it. You can't get rid of it. As old as my ass is, and as bad as my knees are screwed up, I still think I could play for I could give a couple of good plays. And even a few years ago, I was playing in flag football leagues. Yeah, this old ass running around playing flag football after 6 knee operations. So he's going to be around the team, his whole team. He's going to be seeing this team of young players playing their ass off, and he's going to get that itch. But we'll see what happens with that. And I think, I don't want to go on Tony Romo, but I don't think Tony Romo has completely given up football himself. I bet you Tony Romo is thinking, if Dak Prescott happens to get hurt, I'm only a phone call away for Jerry. Haven't signed my retirement papers. I could always come back and be the hero in Dallas one more time. But we'll see. I'll pay Mark and Rum laugh out loud. Okay, there's so many people on here tonight, and I want to thank all of you guys for joining in. So there's Sarah right there, Andy Garcia, Marquez Butler, Rodney D, Robert A. Man. Thank all of you guys for watching and commenting and subscribing to the report, man, because it's been great. And I tell you what, we've had a big uptick, of course, over the last couple of days, and it was crazy at the draft. Here's the thing. A lot of you guys are new, know nothing about me, only that I'm a dude that's got a damn voodoo doll that was seen on TV. But here's what's funny or interesting to me. I wasn't the only person that was seen on TV. There were thousands of Cowboy fans that were seen on TV. But for whatever reason, as small as Jobu is you will see him and you won't forget. You will pick it out of the crowd. And I dare say a lot of things that I have been able to do, it's because of Jobu. And maybe there's no magical powers. Maybe it's just the fact that it's different. But for whatever reason, it's kind of cool. I've been able to work and meet a lot of different NFL players and things like that. And I got to tell you, it's really cool because Benny Ray, who's a linebacker for Cincinnati, a great guy, and I know you're going to say I'm a bandwagon fan. No, I'm a fan of good people. And even these Eagle fans that were up there that were cussing me out, and I was actually enjoying, because whenever they would, I'd say, bring it on. Give it to me. I love the hate. I love the hate. I actually could have nice conversations with them. And they would say, man, it's just fun, man. So anyway, it was kind of cool because Vinny was up on the stage who just announced the pick for the Cincinnati Bengals. He sees Jobu and he's like, hey! And to me, that was just like freaking incredible. Then I was like, okay, I got waved from the, okay. Anyway, I digress. Um, Zachary, you are just like my son, who is huge on Rico Gathers. He thinks Rico Gathers is going to be a baller this year. And I'm hoping that he's right because Jason Witten basically has said, I'm going to take it 1 year at a time. I'm not committing past this season. This season, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it
tight end there. Agency.
Yeah, well, we got another one, but I'm hoping that Rico Gathers is the real deal.
As far as his work ethic, he is.
Yeah, Xavier Woods, I think, could be a player as well. And like I said, I'm excited. I wish that the season were starting now. But hey, it's already May. Before we know it, it'll be June, and the end of July, we got training camp. So we're coming down the stretch here. Well, but here's a good thing. You know, you're talking about Lucky Whitehead, and I just found out something interesting because he's actually from Northern Virginia. I hope Lucky Whitehead doesn't go on the team. I hope Lucky comes back and plays really, really well because next month I'm going to be doing a job with his dad. His dad is actually an electrician. So what I'm hoping is that we hit it off and that I can get Lucky Whitehead on the Jobu Sports Report, as well as I'm working on some other people to try and get on here. So I just teased that a little bit. Sorry, and I hope it all works out. But Lucky, I think, has gotten hungry. Don't count him out just yet, because the first year everything was easy. Second year he got into the doghouse, and sometimes that's what a guy needs to shake them up and realize I gotta bust my butt to get back out there. And Lucky has been working hard. He wants to make sure he stays a Dallas Cowboy, and that is a sign that a team is doing something right. When a guy like Terrence Williams, who could have gotten more money out on the free agent market, ends up saying, you know what, I want to stay here. I want to play the Dallas Cowboys. It takes about $3 million less a year. So when you get guys that are passionate about the team, and that's something that has been lost in football since free agency. Most guys look at it as it's nothing personal. It's only business. I'm not going to get myself hurt. I'm going to make sure that I get paid. Now, old-time football was we're Dallas Cowboys. We hate the Washington Redskins. We're not working out with those guys after the season. Screw them. F them. I'll kick their ass if I see any of them. It's not football today. Football is, oh, man, let me knock you down and pick you back up. Hey, how's the wife and the kids, man? Hey, let's go hang out next weekend, man, on our bye week. No. When you get guys that said, I want to be a Dallas Cowboys, that's a passion. And sometimes passion is what will take you to a victory. Lucky did have some good returns, but he's got competition. And there's nothing better.
Swing.
There is nothing, yeah, swing, better than having competition and making guys, because that means I've got to be my best to get that spot. When a guy's anointed, he's a starter. Okay, what I got to do? RG3, I'm a starter, so all I got to do is show up. No, make the guys earn it. Get the 53 guys that will go into that fight and give everything they got. That's the way I look at it. Switzer, you know, he's a receiver and he's a kick returner. What I always try and look at, and I've got 5 minutes before I go on the Benet Emery show, and unfortunately, God, it drives me crazy. You guys know I've been doing the Benet Emery show for 3 years now, and it seems like every time I have something really big happens, we have a problem at the station. They're upgrading the station, so the Skype's not working tonight. So here it is, me and Jobu on TV. Great visuals. And, of course, we have to actually call in tonight. You know, when I met Dak Prescott, had a problem at the station, so we didn't have a show there. So we're still going to be talking about the draft and all that, but it's not going to be the same. And I digress, but I lost my train of thought here. There weren't, I'm surprised that there actually weren't a lot of Redskin fans actually up in Philadelphia because it's only a 2.5-hour ride up there to the draft. Very few Redskins. Actually, matter of fact, very few Giants fans were actually there. And they're literally just an hour or so away from Philadelphia. I saw more Cowboy fans than anything else. And I met a lot of Cowboy fans who are from Philly, which really amazed me. Well, there's a lot of guys that the Cowboys looked at. And one of the things that people will say is that the Cowboys took Taco in the first round when they had a second-round grade on him. But see, here's the thing. A lot of people said that we could have gotten Travis Frederick later in the draft. And maybe that might have been true. But if there's a guy that you say, you know what, I really like this guy. I really think he's going to fit our system, and we really want to get this guy. Sometimes you'll take him sooner than risking losing him. And if you looked at how that draft was developing, you saw 3 quarterbacks that went in the first round. You saw a lot of offensive players that went in the first round, and you saw a lot of defensive ends and tackles go. You didn't see that many cornerbacks go. And with that draft being as full of corners and defensive linemen as it was, you looked at it and said, okay, more than likely we can still get a good cornerback later in the second round. There still should be some good guys there. There's no guarantee that a defensive lineman will be. So let's take Taco now, and we'll look at cornerbacks in the second and third round, because we have a better chance of getting one of those guys. Because in the end, does it matter if you got Dak Prescott in the 4th round or the 2nd round? The only thing that matters is how much you're actually paying the person. The point is that you got him on your team, that you got players on your team. And for us to have drafted 9 players, that's, like I said, that's kind of like New Englandish. You're trying to get as many picks as possible, try and bring in as many people as possible, so that way, hopefully, you get 3 or 4 of them that are going to stick. And I think that they did a pretty good job. There's no guarantee that any of them will be any good. Only time will tell how that works out. Eli will finally miss some games this year. Hot take. Okay. Catch you later, Jobu. Peace out. Take it easy, Bill B. I'm getting ready to go on to the Benet Emery show, so I've got 1 minute. Let me go ahead and get the setup for that call. And if anybody knows Chris, make sure you let him know that he won the contest, and I want to send him his hat. All right, we're almost ready for that. Yeah, I agree with you, Eric. I want Eli to play for many, many years to come because he's really a turnover machine. Yeah, Taco will definitely have his opportunities, as well as the rest of that defense. But I really hope happens is I hope that we end up having have David Irving take another step forward. If he really can step up and continue where he took off, the end of last year, we'll be in great shape. That's possible that Brian Seltzer and Cole Beasley are like Julian Edelman or like a Wes Welker type. I mean, they definitely got the same kind of builds. Yeah, I'm hoping that Taco will have as much impact as Dak did, because that would be phenomenal. All right, so let me call into the Benet Emery show. All righty. Well, what I like about the addition of the corners is, as far as Kendrick goes, is it's more competition. There were rumors that they were using him for trade day. Say what?
That's the next thing I want to do with the film.
is I want to bring it back and tell it from my side, because there's a lot of people that are going to be sitting in my position and don't know what they can do with life after everything.
Okay, so we're waiting to go on the show.
So that's my dream project, to get it off the ground so I can actually get in touch with people out there that
We're about to go on.
always hope that they cross, because now life is
Okay, so we're about to go on live on the Benet Emmer Show. Unfortunately, we're not Skyping in because they got some upgrades that they're doing in the station. They're like I'm trying to do. I've been working on my set, getting it looking better, changing it up, better lighting, better microphones, and things like that. So hopefully we'll be on soon.
Right now, we have on the phone, ladies and gentlemen, and first off, let me apologize, ladies and gentlemen. We have some technical difficulties going on in the studio. Mark is not do his usual Skype in where you see all the pretty red face and Mark's mug, but he'll be back next week. And everything that he has for us this week, we're going to play for you next week, because the draft will still be hot. And plus, I guarantee he's going to put a new spin on something that you've never heard before. But right now, we got him live on the phone. What's going on, Mark?
Oh man, what a draft, what a draft, what a draft, man. I got to tell you, I'm back from Philadelphia in one piece, and I was loud and proud for our Dallas Cowboys. I wore Dallas Cowboy gear every minute I was there and had Jobu out. And you know what? Them punk asses in Philadelphia were scared.
So, are you happy with the draft?
I'm happy with the draft, because what you always want to accomplish with the draft is this. To me, a successful draft gets you an impact player, gets you 2 starters, and gets you a special teams player and some depth. And I'm looking at this draft, and I think that we may have gotten that. I mean, take a look at last year. You know, we got 2 impact players between Dak and Zeke, as well as a couple of starters between Collins and Brown, and we ended up filling in some of these other holes. I like what the Dallas Cowboys did. They focused on the defense, and they took the best players available without trying to get discounted players with, you know, shaded past drug usage or injury past and stuff. So I feel pretty good about the draft, but time will tell.
Well, the only thing that I was questioning about the 2 wide receivers that they took, I think I was hoping that they were going. They wanted a special team-ish type player. Then I'm pretty sure it was some cornerbacks or even some linebackers to make it feel at home. I just didn't see the need for the cornerbacks. But, you know, I was advocating on Facebook that we should just draft everybody defense. Every single defense, because wide receiver, you pretty much set. We signed T. Williams.
Yeah.
Cole, he signed last year.
You're set as long as Dez stays healthy. Okay?
Well,
And that's a big if. And I think what they're looking at is with Switzer, he's a special teams guy that if Lucky Whitehead ends up needing to go, you've got somebody else to go there, or you're bringing in competition with them, because more than likely not all of these 9 guys are going to be able to make the team. So you're trying to do some hit and misses. But what you want to do in the draft is you want to have as many picks as possible, because it's going to increase your odds of finding that guy. New England has done that for years. They're always usually having 8, 9, 10, 12 picks, and they find guys that fit their system. And that's what the Cowboys tried to do this year, and I think they did a good job at it.
Well, Mark, like I said, man, I'm glad you made it there. I think the most epic moment in the draft is when Drew Pearson went off.
Well,
that made my entire season already. What was that like being there, Mark?
Oh, my God. Okay, you know what? Here's, like I said, people will go ahead and say, you know, look at the idiot with the doll. I got to tell you, I've been in situations, and I know it's because of Jobu. And you can call me crazy if you want. But to be in the middle of that section, because we were in the front row of that draft, we couldn't hear what Drew Pearson was saying because it was so loud from the Eagle fans cheering. But all of a sudden, after this whole thing went off, my phone blows up because everybody's like, oh, my God, we just saw you on TV and Drew Pearson, this, that, and the other. And I had no clue about what he said. But it was crazy because the Eagle fans were shouting out, Dallas sucks. And this group of about 20, 25 of us Cowboy fans all up there in the front with the cameras were shouting these Eagles punk asses down. You could feel the electricity literally in the air. You could feel the passion. It was like being at the Super Bowl. I will kid you not. It was freaking incredible.
Well, Mark, I'm glad that you made it back one piece. I was praying for you. I said, Mark is out there talking cash shit.
You know it. Well, I tell you what, if you go back through and look at some of my videos, you'll hear me cussed out more than once or twice in there. And I had no fear walking around with Jobu, giving it right back to him because, hey, that's what I do.
Well, Mark, like I said, we apologize about the speed. We should be up next week, but I know you got everything. I want to see the graphics. I know you got a whole presentation put together.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't wait to see it, man.
Yeah. Well, you know, if some of the fans want to go through, they can go through and check out my YouTube channel, Mark Holmes, or they can click CowboyJobu. They'll get a whole feel for the NFL draft and everything else because I got tons and tons of footage from the draft itself, the atmosphere, some of the people that are going on, some of the fans out there I've got interviews and stuff with. So definitely check out my channel. And if they subscribe to it, they'll get notified whenever we're live streaming. We're live streaming now with a couple hundred people that are watching us or watching me talk to you live right now.
Exactly. Be sure and tell them that they can tune into the Banner Show when they get through dealing with you. Because we have here in the building.
All right.
We also have the 2016 model year. Yeah, of course, you got me and the other guy.
Amen to that. So you heard it, my man.
Can't see me shooting my finger, but
all right.
So, that means, Mark, tell folks how to get in contact with you one more time, my man.
Every Monday night here on the Benay Embry Show. Check out my Facebook page, CowboyJobu, and definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel because if you want to know anything about the Dallas Cowboys and you're sick of the talking heads on ESPN, you will love the Jobu Sports Report on the Mark Holmes YouTube channel.
Hey, Mark, thank you so much, man. We'll see you next week.
All right, I can't wait. So, boom, that was it. Me doing the Benay Embry Show. Unfortunately, they had technical difficulties tonight, and they couldn't see my old-ass face. Let me get back to some of these questions in here, but it's been hard for me, even with this bigger screen. I've upgraded the studio here a bit, where I've got like a 32-inch TV, which is like my computer monitor, so I can see the comments roll through. But they are literally rolling through so fast that it's hard to keep up. Albert Till I Die, man, I love the channel. Thank you very much, man. I do it for you guys because for me it's fun. I feel like I've got a lot of knowledge of football, and I would hate to die with all this knowledge in here. I want to share it so that way I'll forever live on. Dak is going to have 35 to 40 touchdowns this year. Man, Tyrone, I would love to see that. But if he's having to throw that many touchdown passes, that means our running game is not there. So that might be a cautionary tale. You know, when you think about Tony Romo's career, the games that he ended up having the most points, his win totals were not that good. Tony Romo had more winning games where he had only 2 touchdown passes. And that's a fact. You become one-dimensional, chances are you're going to make some turnovers. Chances are you're trying to catch up because you're way behind. So this offense is designed to be a ball control offense. Take time off the clock because that's going to be the best way to help the defense by keeping the other team from having the ball. So we'll see what happens with the team. Like I said, I'm as excited as can be. I can't wait for the season to start. So glad Romo is gone. You know, I'm glad that the drama is over from the whole Tony Romo situation. Tony Romo was a great player. I think he was let down by the organization. Oh, my God. Zachary Fletcher, you are our first. Oh, thank you so much. Why does everybody hate Dak? Is wise beyond my year. I think I just got a super chat. Here, a super chat is this, and I'm not looking for it or anything. That super chat is basically you put money onto your comment, and it highlights it and it leaves it up longer, so that way you know you're definitely seen. And Zach, I appreciate that, and I agree with you 100%. And I've said this in some other videos, is why people hate on Dak Prescott, because if you're a fan of the Dallas Cowboys team, The only thing you should be caring about is winning, getting a Super Bowl. To me, that's what a fan of the Dallas Cowboys does. You don't wish that a player on your team does bad, especially your quarterback. I mean, I understand that you'd like to see Tony Romo get that ring, but don't you want your team to get the ring? I look at what Chicago just did. Chicago tried to move up one place to get a quarterback that nobody knows. They gambled the whole future, which probably won't work. The Washington Redskins gave up 4 picks for an RG3. The Rams gave up 5 picks to move up for Jared Goff, a guy that can't play. You got a quarterback that you weren't even thinking about having to start that you found out is, oh, rookie of the year. How can you hate on that? What has that guy done to deserve to be hated? He hasn't said anything bad about Tony Romo. He hasn't done anything bad in the community. He hasn't beat anybody. He doesn't do drugs. He doesn't drink. He doesn't get high. His focus is winning and wanting to bring a Super Bowl ring. So how is it that people hate this guy? I don't know, Zach. I wish I had the answer for you, but thank you, Zach. You will forever be the first one to do a super chat. And Jackie, I'm old. I remember being the first class integrated in elementary school. I got called nigger every day, and unfortunately, my skin complexion, the black kids said I was a wannabe, the white kids said I was nigger, so I was just on my own. And at 50 years old, 51 years old, some 46 years later, we're still talking about a black quarterback. How is that? In the time that we went from a black and white TV to a smartphone that's a computer that I can Skype to you guys around the world, how is it that we are still dealing with black and white? I don't know. I wish I had that answer. Looks like we got a few trolls still in here. And it makes me sad too. I thought that those things would change and that my kids would never have to hear that kind of stuff. Because I remember when Joe Gilliam played with the Steelers in, I think, 72 or 73 against Terry Bradshaw. And unfortunately, he ended up having drug problems and ended up, I think, dying homeless and laying on the streets. But I thought, when Doug Williams won the Super Bowl with an incredible performance, a heroic performance with a messed up knee, that would have been the end of it. Or Russell Wilson winning one. But here it is. We still deal, I guess, with the same thing. I'm proud to say that I don't look at somebody as black, white, Asian, or whatever. I look at somebody as a person. I like to look at somebody and say, you know what, let me judge this person as an individual. Let me judge this person for his good things or bad things or whatever. But I'm not going to put that person in a category and say he's a white guy or a black guy or whatever, so he's going to be this. You can't. You just can't. But anyway, it's 10 o'clock, and I don't want to be sad today. I want to be happy because we had an incredible weekend at this draft. We got some young, exciting guys. We had a great time at the draft, and I am looking forward to tomorrow. So the Dallas Cowboys' future to me is very, very bright, and I hope you guys feel that mojo that's building with this team. I'm as excited as can be. I can't wait to meet more of you guys. Literally, doing the draft made me want to get out there and meet more and more of you guys. So we're going to keep working on this. We're going to keep on trying to grow, and we're going to keep on trying to spread the mojo. So with that, guys, I've got some more work to do. Doing some work for the United Way. I'm actually doing a video. The contest that I told you guys about, wow. They're going to be doing a Super Bowl one of these down the road. And when you guys see what this guy was able to do, that's the reason why we were in the front row, was because I'm videotaping him. I was in the green room at the draft. And you got Melissa Starks in there, you got Jones Drew, you got Ike Taylor, and I'm just like, I'm in the green room. You know, they got bottles of wine, they got crackers and fruit, they got all kinds of food. You got players that are going in and out, and I'm just like, wow. So I got to go finish doing that video stuff together so that way they can put it out there. And I'm actually really proud and feel good about being able to do this. That, you know, wow, I actually filmed something that hopefully a lot of people will do. And I really enjoy this stuff. I wish I could do this as a career because it's just fun to try and find something funny to do a video on, or talk or study about the Cowboys and things like that, because you guys are so great. So with that, I've got to end this because I've got work to do, and I will see you guys soon. And as always, guys, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to Jobu Sports Report, because without you guys, this would be nothing.